Hi, Mike Smela here. Today we're going to be talking about the true cost of debt and what it means to you over a lifetime and how you can dramatically reduce the amount of debt that you pay over the course of your lifetime. But before we get into that, let me ask you guys a serious question. Are you currently carrying balances or making payments on any or all of the following? If we look over this list, most people are paying on some or all of these loans. And the question then that we really need to ask ourselves, if we are carrying debt like this, is whether we are young or old, 18 or 60, the question then becomes, where will our lifetime retirement income come from? Now, how do those two correlate to each other? Well, it's very simple. Unless we are receiving pensions, Social Security, big fat inheritance, or multi-million dollar lottery winnings, it is basically our responsibility for creating our own destiny. And if it is our own responsibility for creating our own destiny and our own future, then debt is something that we absolutely need to look at, need to eliminate from our lives as quickly as we possibly can if we want to have any chance of living the lives that we want to lead. Okay, let's take a look at the true cost of debt. If you've got a mortgage, or in some cases, I've even seen clients that have student loans that are in excess of $200,000. So let's say you've got a $200,000 mortgage at a great interest rate of 4%. The thing that most people don't realize is over the course of those 30 years, you're going to be paying back a total of $343,000. You borrowed $200,000, you're going to pay an extra $143,000 of interest back to the loan or back to the lender. So not only are you paying $143,000 of additional interest, but it is taking you 30 years of time to pay that back. What do you have at the end of it? Yeah, you've got a house that's free and clear, but you're 30 years older. You've lost all that money and you've lost all of that time. That's a huge true cost of debt. Again, interest rates right now are low. Imagine what happens down the road when interest rates are higher. Or again, you may have student loans that actually total $200,000 and you may be paying 6% on that. Imagine this, guys, at $200,000 at 6%, that's paying back an extra $231,000 in interest that is transferred out of your life and into the bank's pocket. So over the course, again, I don't know how old you are, but over the course of your lifetime, it's very likely that most people will spend 30 to 40, maybe even more years than that, paying mortgage debt. And that's a huge true cost of debt. And again, if your financial well-being and future well-being is reliant upon you to create wealth, how can you do that if you're looking at a huge amount of debt as far as mortgages go? Let's also add on to that, again, student loan debt. Let's say between yourself and your spouse, maybe you've got $50,000 of student loan debt. At 6%, that's going to add another $75,000 on top of the mortgage debt that you're paying. And let's look at financing cars. Unfortunately, a lot of people will finance a car every 5 years or so. And if you start at age 25, every 5 years, that's 8 cars that you may be financing over the course of your lifetime through, let's just say, age 65. That's another 40 years worth of payments for car and auto loans. And again, let's say at an average of 7% interest, that's an additional $37,000 of interest, or basically between the interest and the principal, that's another $250,000 over the course of your life that is leaving your being and going out to others. When you add on credit card, revolving debt, other types of consumer loans and consumer debt, over the course of time, when we add all this up, what we're going to see is that between the mortgage debt, the student loan debt, the vehicle debt, other credit card and other debt, over the course of the next 30 to 40 years, a typical person may end up spending or transferring away $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 in principal and interest payments to others. And again, wasting, I don't want to say wasting, but it's wasting 30 to 40 years of their life. So what we need to be able to do is, again, if we are responsible for creating our own destiny, how much can we truly afford to risk failing on? How can we take the next 30 to 40 years and pay other people and still end up building wealth for ourselves as well? We can't, guys. What we got to learn is we got to figure out how we can rapidly pay off our debt and how we can safely build wealth. So there are really four things that we need to do. The first thing we need to do is we need to change our thinking and our feelings about money and what's truly important to us. And this can be real challenging because it puts, again, the focus squarely on us. The second thing we need to do is learn different information. We got to realize that banks and lenders profit by having us do exactly what they want us to do, which is to borrow money over the course of our entire life. We need to change that information that we get, and we need to do this, even though it may be very challenging, because again, we're going to be looking at and learning different information that flies in direct contradiction to what the rest of the financial world really wants us to do. The third thing we need to do is we need to implement strategies and vehicles that are specifically designed for us to benefit. Okay, this is a huge disconnect that happens in our financial world because there are a lot of very educated people in this country and a lot of highly motivated people in this country that are flat broke. It doesn't make sense to me. It never did until I started learning some of this myself. That we need to learn different information, we need to think differently, and we need to implement different vehicles. Because if we don't utilize the right vehicles, we can end up going backwards and counteracting what we want to be able to have happen, even though what we want to have happen is a good thing. We need all three of them, all right? So what we really need to do is we need to eliminate debt rapidly. We need to build wealth safely. Resources, give us a shout, folks. NFIHunters.com. Reach out to us. Begin a conversation. Our goal is truly to help you. And that's all we're all about, very honestly. We've got some programs that we do work with. One of them is a biweekly payment program. This, instead of paying your payments once a month, we actually pay them every 15 days. It builds up enough dollars in an account so that at the end of this year, or at the end of a year, you're going to actually end up making one additional principal payment on your debts, which will reduce your payoff time and the interest paid. It's a good program. It works, and it can be put very much into autopilot. Second program is what we call as a debt roll down program. Depending on how much debts you've got, what we may want to do, if you've got credit cards and things, we may want to look at either taking the lowest balance first and start to pay off that credit card and pay more on it, so that then when that payment is done, we take the extra amount that we were paying plus what we were initially paying to it and apply that to the next debt and the next one and the next one. Again, a very good way to pay down your debts. It does take a lot of personal responsibility, and it does have some shortcomings. But again, any way we can help people pay off debt is a good thing. Third program is what's called the Worth account. Website is right there. There are 3 videos on this site. I strongly recommend this program for a number of reasons. The biggest one is that it is a lifetime financial GPS that you can use throughout your life to rapidly eliminate debt, to play what if scenarios that happen in life, and to actually help you to build wealth, leveraging the bank's vehicles and the bank's rules for your benefit. And the fourth program that we work with is what's called privatized banking. This program is outstanding. And it actually works to help you pay off debt, build wealth at the same time with the same dollars without ever risking away a penny of your money and having it all under your control. Again, folks, these are great programs. What we want to be able to do is be a resource for you so that you can live the lives that you want to live for yourself, for your families, for things that you can teach your kids, for things that you can share with others. So give me a call. Again, my name is Mike Smela. I look forward to talking to you, and we'll be seeing you on the next video. Take care now.